Joe. Joe, welcome.
Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome, Joe. So I guess we've been preparing for this for a while, and it's finally happening. Thank you for all your support. It's really much appreciated. So we'll start this podcast with a small introduction. Who is Joe?
So Joe is a French American soon. So I was born and raised in the countryside of France, make my graduation there. And after I used to travel a lot with my work company. And finally I get married to a beautiful American woman and who drive me here in the United States.
Nice.
To be short.
Nice, Joe. So I guess you moved to United States, what, 4 years?
Almost
ago?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So how the idea come to move to United States?
So like I say, I fall in love with a beautiful woman, which born and raised in Columbus.
Nice.
And it was during the period of COVID. COVID happened, everything shut down in France, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And she told me, but come in my country, everything, we still have opportunity to work and stuff. And I say, okay. It was a hard jump to do, but with her help, I did it, and I'm proud of it now.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you in Columbus, in Ohio. Yes. And here we are. There is a reason for why you are on this podcast. The podcast is putting the spotlights on successful people who moved from different countries and, you know, they made it in America. And as you know, everybody believes in the dream. And I think America offer you that. And but before we, dive in, so Joe, how did you end up by, working in the hospitality industry?
So I think it started really young. When I was 14, directly after middle school, I wanted to be a cook at the beginning.
Okay.
I find a restaurant where I wanted to work and make a special high school for cook. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the restaurant, the owner of the restaurant sold the restaurant at this time, and I didn't have the opportunity to go. So I keep this idea on mind. I went to a college for something else, and as soon as I get out of college, I say, okay, where I can go back to hospitality. So I went to this big company called Club Med.
Okay.
It's kind of a resort. We can speak about that maybe later. And I get back to the food and beverage industry. So first as a bartender, assistant bartender, sommelier.
So you started from the bottom.
Exactly.
Which is great for, anybody who have the passion to start in this industry. The best thing to do if you have chance is to start from the bottom. When you are exposed to different positions, bartender, barback, server, cook, like when you want to have to pursue your career, you will have an idea about what's going on in the front and in the back of the house.
Exactly.
And that's something that we're gonna get into. But Joe, you didn't went to a school for example, hospitality industry. I know in France there is like l'école hôtelière.
Exactly. So I put my inscription. I was ready to go, and literally like it was 2 weeks before entering the school. Like I said, the owner of the restaurant where I was make a stage like preparing my high school just sold the restaurant.
Wow.
So I went. My parents threw me in a general high school at the place to be the cook, but I always keep this, like, I'm a foodie. I'm passionate. I love wine. I love food. So I always knew, and I will come back to this.
And this is a great
area.
Message to send to everybody that if you have the passion, you don't need, if you don't have chance to go to school, like to l'école hôtelière or wherever, like don't give up on your dream. Like
Never.
You still can make it.
That's for sure.
Because right now, when we're gonna go back to, to your journey, but right now, like you're a manager in one of the biggest gaming company in United States, which is great, right?
Oh yes.
So going back to Club Med, I see that you had chance to work in Morocco, right?
Oh yes, I was really lucky. This company make me travel a lot, and one of my first abroad travel was to Morocco. And in one word, wow! Like literally, that was an amazing experience. Culture-wise, food-wise. Again, I'm a foodie. I'm sorry, but like everything, the atmosphere, the people, the like.
So it was the first time like you are traveling to an overseas country.
Exactly.
It was Morocco, right?
Exactly.
So how was like the first impression?
I remember I landed to the airport, so I went directly to Agadir. That's where I spent.
City.
Oh yes, literally on the beach, known for the port and so I land there, and I say first the weather was beautiful, like it was hot, but with still this wind from the Atlantic Ocean, beautiful, and the first thing is like the culture, like the people was like everything was alive, everything like. You have people who are speaking together, helping each other. Like it was like something that I didn't find in France, maybe something a bit different. But like, yeah, it was like warm, welcoming, a warm welcoming.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you had a great experience. What did you learn about Moroccan people?
A lot of things. I learned about the religion. So of course, first things I bought a Quran because I'm open mind. I got raised as a Catholic, but I said like, okay, let's learn and dive about that and understand the culture. I learned about the food. Like one more time, the food is amazing. The fish are like I need to speak about that. I went to the marina, and behind the marina you have a special restaurant. It's more for the people who know, of course, and the fish is fresh.
Of course.
It's grilled from there. I also the generosity of the Moroccan people, the open arm, helpful. I even I even have a dinner so one of my coworker was really nice, and one night he said, hey, come eat at my home with my parents, and I experienced and enjoy a beautiful Moroccan dinner. It was like awesome.
I'm glad you had a great time.
Oh yeah.
So that was a little bit of your journey so far, and now we can dive in to your experience and what you learned so far. So can you share a bit about your background and what led you where you are right now?
So I think, like I said, everything started when I was 14. I find really so my mom was cooking all my life. My mom cooked at home delicious dishes. My dad liked wine, of course, and make me taste this wine. So I always was around this food and beverage industry without being in the industry, but the industry was in my house, literally.
The passion was starting to grow
exactly.
And then,
and I think I have this little flame, this little fire inside, where I want to go back there. And so on the side of I went to a college for psychology, more education. But on the side, I always like looking video and speaking with people who were in the F&B industry. And as soon as I have the opportunity to jump in this industry, I did it. Like we just say, I start at the bottom, and I enjoy it. I enjoy make the dishes. I enjoy start to serve some few mojito, and after to manage and order, and step by step, year after year, building a kind of experience for me. Then I wanted to share with people, and that's one of the reasons we are here also.
That's great. Like you said, I think being in this industry is a challenge every day.
Oh yes.
You don't have a routine.
No.
And for people like who are in the operation and like to manage and be challenged every day, it's great. Plus like the culture, like you meet a lot of people, you are experiencing different type of food, and you taste like different type of wine and everything, and what's bring people together is the food, right?
Totally.
And that's coming from being working or like part of the hospitality industry. That's great, Joe. So what have been some moments in your career that have shaped you who you are right now?
I have a lot of little moments like that, but I think adversity is every day. Like you just said, challenge are every day. I remember when at one time at Club Med I was a bar manager, and so I have 21 employees under me, but from 11 different nationality.
Wow.
That was a challenge.
Yeah.
That was a challenge. I have American, European, so every kind of European, some French, some Italian, some German, some Portuguese, some Brazilian people, some Chinese, Japanese, South African, Turkish. I'm sorry if I forget one of them.
How was the communication, for example, like when you're pre-shift, you're meeting?
So everything was in English and French, because like that was the corporate. We wanted to start to like speak French for everybody, but like some people didn't understand, so we always speak English also, of course. But that was really nice to see, like, if you give a task to one person, this 11 different nationality make it 11 different way to do the same thing. And so how we can think to put this together. That was a beautiful experience. Hard at the beginning because like we don't understand each other. We don't understand the culture of each other, but we have to move forward and learn with that.
And get the job done.
And get the job done, yeah.
So, and is that was one of your challenges, or you have more challenges, during your journey? How was like your, transferring the culture from, the French culture to the American culture? It's different style, right? It's different management.
Oh, yes.
How did you live that?
That was really hard. I think every time I went, I think Morocco, it was easier to adapt for me.
Yeah, they have more like, type of French
exactly.
style there.
After I live a year in Brazil, where same thing, I took at least 3 or 4 months to adapt. And America, I think I took a year maybe to adapt. But I was moving forward all the time. The thing is like I was maybe stuck in my ID. Now we are speaking together. I think maybe I was like just like block and say I got raised in one way and thinking in one way and put me some like closed eyes, like I could not see the things. So it took me at least a year, to really open my heart, open my eyes, to finally understand and accept different management, different culture, different style of doing things. So that was one of the biggest challenge, I think. But I'm proud to pass by there because it's make me the man that I am right now.
What was difficult in that process?
I think it's like, if in European style and even in Maghreb also, like you just say, we have école hôtelière. So in general, all the F&B industry are professional. People get out from school, even to be bartender, some of them to be server, to be cook, they get out from school.
And I think even in the United States, people are professional. It's just like, what you want to mean by that is people, they already went to school, they already have the basis, they already have the structure, and they embrace that job and they have the passion for. In United States, and based on my experience also, some people get to the industry by because like they didn't have a choice, because their first job was a server, because sometimes they're going to college and they need a second job, or like a job on the side so they can make some money. And if your first job is a server or bartender and you start making some cash money, you're like,
of course,
you like to keep coming, so, and that's how some people get to industry. But that's what makes the difference between like somebody who have passion to what he does and want to have a career, and somebody who's just in that industry for the money. And I think that's what make our job a little bit difficult, right?
And it's why it's beautiful, because it's to school. I think in America what is beautiful is the experience. Like you say, you can start as a server or a cashier at McDonald's, and in 2 years you're gonna be a bar manager,
Yeah,
because or the GM, because
McDonald's,
step
wherever,
by step you can take these things. In Europe it's more like you get out of the school and up you go directly to your job. So I love to embrace both of this culture, I think, to be perfect.
I think like the key is to take the mix
Exactly.
of the both culture. I think like it's really good to be shaped as a professional and learn a lot during like your process, and then try to grow in your career. And in the meantime, when you are in the United States, like they believe on what you're gonna bring to the table, your experience, your background, versus Europe, like it's which degree you have.
Exactly.
And that was always a not a problem for me, but you see so many talented young people that they can move up with the company just because like they don't have the degree, and they get judged by that, versus like in United States, you can start as a server and you can work your way up
Exactly.
to the high
and it's why
position.
I think you have both good and both bad, and I totally agree with what you see. How many people I saw in France who have a great degree but don't do the job? And how many people I see here are just a dishwasher or server, but I will be ready to hire them as an assistant manager because like they are passionate, they want to do, they are here every day and they do the job. So one more time, it's like the perfect one is a mix of this.
So that would be your advice for our audience, like if you are moved from different country and you have this mixed culture, I think like it's better to sit down and look for, okay, what's the positive from my previous culture, wherever, what's the positive here, and I'm gonna try to take the
embrace
mix
it
of it, and then try to make something with that, because I think still like there is a lot of opportunities, especially in our industry. If you work in hotels, if you work in restaurants, the hospitality industry, the casino industry, it's growing so much. And after COVID, like the industry took a big hit, and a lot of people who were working on restaurants, wherever, they find different ways how to make money. As there is so many opportunities online right now, and this company is now struggle, especially like with having the talents and the right people to do the job. Recently we start noticing a little bit of shifting towards like people want to go back, but now it's become more competition of retaining those good people.
That's the hardest part.
The competition is tough. People will leave you for $1 or $2 extra, right? And what makes the difference is
leaders and managers.
Managers. It's the culture of the company, how we are doing to retain those people, how we kind of keep these people motivated and want to come in to do the job every day in the positive way. That's the major role that's making the difference, Joe.
I totally agree with that.
Great. So Joe, what motivates you to keep going forward?
That's gonna sound silly maybe, but the love of food.
There you go. I mean, that's great. Who doesn't love food? Right?
Love food, and even more, I think like humans are a social animal, and I love this social experience, this customer service that I can deliver every day. Try to find the right things for my customer, also for my employee. But like, the feeling to try to make the things right.
So that's perfect, because I always say something. It's not gonna be perfect all the time. That's why there is managers, right? But it's the way how you recover. Sometimes the customer can have bad experience, and I love when customers bring that to the manager attention. And I was teaching and empowering my servers before that, hey, if you see the guests, are not enjoying their meal or they make you comments, please bring that to the management attention, because like you give us a chance to recover. So you have to recover why they're still in your building,
Exactly.
why they're still in your hotel, why they're still in your restaurant before like they leave. If they leave, you're gonna hear back from them, and most
Sure.
of the time you hear back from people who had bad experience
Yes,
versus
sir.
for people who had good experience, because that's the expectations. But you still can be like, recover once you hear back from them, but sometimes it's gonna hurt you more, because the review can be online,
For sure.
it can be on some powerful platforms, it can be on the company platform for surveys, and sometimes it's not too late, but it's hard, it's already there.
The damage is done.
The damage is done, versus like if you recover, you show them that you care, you apologize. And that's something that I want to share also, like people, when they bring their concern to you, like, don't take it personal. It's nothing with you. They have some kind of experience and expectations, and that wasn't good, that wasn't what they looking for. So it's good to apologize, empathize, listen to them, and then try to recover, try to do the right thing. Because like that way they will be like, okay, these people care, this company cares about us, they want us to come back, they want us to bring our business back again, and they're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one customer happy, he will tell like 9 other customers, and one customer unhappy, he will tell another 9 customers. That's been confirmed by study. So I will take my chance to do the right thing and try to recover, and most of the time you become friend with this guest.
Exactly. Yep.
It's the way how you recovered, you show that you care, and every time they're gonna come back, they're gonna ask for you. You build like a relationship with them, and that's how you make them coming back and keep asking for you and bring you the business.
When you say that, I have so many examples of exactly that, like a customer unhappy, I recover in time, and now every time he come inside the building, he come to see me to say hi.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to be honest, that's better than a pay.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but like almost, like,
Well,
because like it's really something like you see the smile, you see the happiness, the satisfaction. It's really great.
Like
that's grateful.
Say, recover with a style.
Exactly.
Everybody have a style. Once you find yours,
you're gonna have no trouble. Yep.
That's great, Joe. So in our industry, it's very hard to keep like a work-life balance.
Yeah.
You work in the operation every day. You have call-offs. You have sometimes people have some circumstances that they can show up to work, and we have a business to run, right? Sometimes you have to work 6 days, sometimes you have to work 7 days. It depends if you have any events, promotions, wherever is going on. And I know it's tough for everybody who works in this industry, but that's what makes us different, because we have passion for what we do. How you balance that? How you balance your work life?
That's a difficult question. First, it depends on the schedule, like you say. But in our industry, a fixed schedule is pretty hard to find.
I always say, you know what time you come in,
you
never know what time you go home.
Exactly. But no, the thing is, like, I think the main subject is to find satisfaction. Where is it? And live the present moment. Don't mix professional and private life. You go out of your home, you close the door, you let all the trouble you have in your house there.
Advice.
Same thing when you get out of your work. Close the door of your office or of your building, all the trouble you have there, stay there. Don't bring them back home either.
I agree with you in certain.
But it's hard.
It's hard for leadership.
Yes.
Because
you need to
pick
be
up the phone when
exactly.
you receive a phone call, right?
Of course.
Because like we're always on the clock.
Yeah. Even today, I received some message.
It's always gonna be the case, especially when you run a big operation, and the operation run 7 days a week, 24/7. That's the industry we're in, right? So, yes, sometimes I would say leave your work problems behind. Don't bring them home. But
you have to deal with it.
You're gonna have some time to receive a phone call.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
always say that when you receive a phone call, I feel like when I receive a phone call, I feel like, okay, my managers and my leaders, they've tried every single solution, and now
It's your
they
turn.
don't have a choice to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I always empower my managers and make sure, like, they're gonna make the right decision. And sometimes if the decision wasn't good, we're just gonna sit down and talk about it. There is no reason, to, beat up or punish a manager who tried to make the right decision.
That's
and,
for sure.
It didn't work. Because that's how we learn, right?
That's for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I think we're always on the clock.
Kinda. Yep. That's the things. But no, and after, if you want, it's also enjoy, like, try to schedule your life about your priority.
Mm-hmm.
Family always gonna be there. Your job, you're gonna find another job, you're gonna find other opportunity, you're gonna have all of it. But your family is what's matter.
Exactly.
So I think it's really important to find a company and a job who give you this opportunity to have a nice work-life balance, which is my case. So I'm pretty happy on that and pretty lucky.
Well, that's great. But how, for you, you find your work-life balance? How do you relax when you go home or distress? Do you have like hobbies? Do you like
so
to read?
yeah, I have some hobby. I'm
Cook,
so
maybe?
exactly. So one of these is cooking. I love spend time in my kitchen and cook for the family, my wife, and for everybody, even friends and stuff. Receiving people for dinner. I like to walk in the forest. I'm a countryside guy.
Okay.
So where I come from, it's a little city of France of 2,000 people
Okay.
and nothing around.
Wow, 2000. Huh?
Yeah, 2,000.
Yeah.
So I like to be in the nature. I play also a bit of video game sometime, yeah. And after, I just try to disconnect. I'm not too much on social media. So like that, I don't have fun. I try to, just to breathe
Mhm.
and relax. Be
Okay.
simple.
I mean, that's very difficult on this world right now. Like when everybody is on social media,
Mhm.
their cell phone, and yeah, I mean, kudos to you, man. I mean,
I let my wife taking care of that.
oh, here we go. So at least like one of you is doing the
Exactly.
job.
Oh yes.
Okay, Joe. So how do you approach failure, Joe? And what have you learned from your, setbacks?
That's a good question. To be honest, I still don't approach failure like I will love to approach them. I still struggle, like I think every human. But now I take a step back and try to understand that it's not a failure, it's a learning.
Exactly.
And it took me years to understand that, to don't be too hard on myself and don't say like I fail, I'm sorry for my French, but I'm not good, we're never gonna do that, like, and say no, hey, you just miss it once, try again,
Exactly.
don't give up, move forward. And if after 3-7 attempts it still not work, if you want to do it, keep doing or change. Keep your mind open.
Yeah.
Change. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe that's a good way to do, but it's not the good drive. So
that's very good point, Joe. I think like it's never a failure; it's a learning experience, and especially in our industry, you learn every day. And
yes.
You don't have a book to follow. You learn through the experiences. Sometimes you will have some experience, something that never happened before, and how you're gonna fix that, how you're gonna come up with a solution, right? And what people struggle with sometimes is the constructive criticism, and especially like with when your boss or like you manage somebody sit you down and give you some constructive criticism, it's very hard.
To don't
It's
take
very
it
hard
personal.
to anybody to don't take it personal.
Oh yeah.
But I think what makes the difference is how you're gonna take that feedback and sit down and sleep on it, and how you're gonna react after that.
Mhm.
Because that's how you're gonna be judged in the future. How you overcome your challenges. One thing I will always say is, I really appreciate when my bosses sit me down and give me some feedback. It shows that they care. It shows that they want you to be successful.
True.
And sometimes we don't see our actions. We're not the mirror for ourselves. They're our mirror. And a boss who sits you down and give you feedback, he cares about you. He wants you to be successful, and he, spend time with you to share that, that moment. And it's always an area of opportunity. As long as we are in this industry, we're all learning, because more we move up, it's more different management styles that we are exposed to, different, environment. It's more politics.
More politics all of the time.
You know how it is, to work with such a large companies. You're gonna have some time to work with people that you guys don't see the same. You don't have the same vision. You don't have the same character. But we're all professional, right? We have to find a way to work together and work on the same goal and make it happen.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, there is no failure in this industry. It's always a learning experience.
But I took time. It took me years and years to understand that. And one more time, I jump on what you just said, to don't take it personal. Nothing is personal. It's just a process.
Exactly.
But I still have some hard time on that when to accept criticism, because like you say, it's how the people see you. You can't be the mirror of yourself only, because you're gonna judge yourself, maybe be hard on yourself or maybe not, but it's totally not the image you give to others. And it's why it's really important to listen and get feedback from other people, your manager, but for everybody, from everybody, just to understand how you are perceived, how the people see you.
Exactly. Well, that's great, Joe. So let me give you this question. I'm really curious to see the answer. So, what advice would you give to your younger self at the beginning of your career? Let's say,
Ooh.
I don't know, we go back 15 years later, you're just gonna start your career.
Ooh.
Sitting back now, what advice you will give to Joe 15 years ago?
That's a good one. I'm looking, because to be honest, I'm really proud of my way of my journey. I started at the lowest, and I'm really proud where I am right now. I don't want to burn any step, so I don't want to give him any advice to run, do it, and
so
overpass.
Don't change anything.
But after you can always change something, but that's a hard one. Try to accept changing easier. I always accept change, but I'm not easy on that at all.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's great advice.
Exactly. Every time I gonna have the change at the beginning, the first things I even don't understand what people ask or stuff, I gonna say no.
So
I don't want to
even
change.
You think
before I think, and that's
before you speak.
Exactly a bad habit to say directly a change. No. Alors que now I say, if we change, it can only be good.
Exactly.
Because and if it's showing that the change is bad, we come back at what we did.
Exactly. People don't like changes because they don't want to leave their comfort zone.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone and accept the changing.
That's
Embrace
a good one.
it.
That's a good one, Joe.
You helped me on this one. Thank you.
So, what's the moment that you can share with us when you have to make like a tough decisions, and how did you navigate that?
Uh, hmm. For
Is moving to United States was a tough decision?
I was saying to say like, is it about life or work? But yeah, it's exactly what I was
It can
thinking
be
about.
anything, personal or
Moving to
professional,
United
right?
States.
Yeah. I can tell you that was one of the best
Yep.
decisions I made. And I mean, we're not talking about myself now, but
We will. We will.
I went back. I mean, I moved to United States for like 7 years, and then went back to Morocco for like almost a year. Then I came back to United States. So like the second time when I made the decision to come back to United States, that was the best decision I ever made.
No, I think I was so scared the first time to come here because like one more time change again the culture,
course.
something I never saw in my life. Everything is big here. I'm sorry, I need to say that. The first time I come in United States,
It's impressive.
like the huge, the cars, the house, the road, the everything. I'd say like wow, but like it's full of opportunity.
Exactly. It's crazy how they look at the details, and they always look for the consumer. You know, the comforts.
Comfort
on the cars,
is yes.
How to make
Even in the
everything
house.
easy for you.
Yes.
You know, and that's a culture shocking, especially coming from Europe or Africa or North Africa or like Middle East or wherever. It's a little bit shocking.
It's gonna be hard for me to go back there now. Now I have my little comfort and things, but yeah, I think like and moving, embracing the culture. And after at the beginning, so I get married, so I was not able to work, so that was a tough time, and I say okay, you need to choose where do you want to live. Do you give you a year here without working and be able to work maybe in 1 year if you get your green card properly, or you give up right now and you go back to your country in your comfort zone. And I take the advice of myself we just give before. I say, no, don't give up. Get out of your comfort zone. It's gonna be all right.
Exactly.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna take time, but it's gonna be all right.
And look at you right now.
And it took time, but I'm really glad of what I did.
And just for people who don't know, like you are food and beverage manager in one of the biggest companies in gaming industry, that they own 44 resorts around the United States. Plus, they just closed a big deal with one of the biggest sports channel in the world. That showed that this company just
starting.
So
yep.
It's really good to be part of this company at this
Oh yes,
time.
for sure.
So
and it's a great company to work with. Like great atmosphere, great culture, and I think it's just starting right now. So
I agree.
Just see in 10 years.
So Joe, how important is networking in the hospitality industry, and what tips do you have for effective networking?
Networking is everywhere. We don't gonna lie to each other. It can be networking with customer, with vendor, networking with your manager, with other services than you're gonna work with, departments. So networking is everywhere. My advice, and
so before we go to the advice, how you network in your personal.
And it's why it's gonna go with the advice in the same time. I think it's like be genuine, like be 100% yourself, because you can't lie to yourself.
That's a good one.
And even if you make a wrong saying, a wrong behavior at one time, we're gonna correct you because it's yourself and you didn't cheat on yourself. You didn't try to show a fake face or something. Like you can, if you are still open mind, of course, always. Be able to change. So if you are 100% genuine with the people you're speaking with the in your way to behave with these people and to network, it can be customer, vendor, other people, any kind of networking. be yourself at 100%. Don't fake it because it's gonna come back to you.
That's a good one. And like you said, I think networking is very important in our industry.
Oh yes.
Because it's small work. No matter what.
You know.
You work with somebody here.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow, that person will be in Vegas. Can call you.
Exactly.
It can be in Middle East. It can be in North Africa.
Everywhere.
And so it's very important to network and keep that contact. And for our audience, as a professional, every time there is like a holiday, there is an event, like try to reach out and keep contact with the people that you know, even if they're far away, even if you didn't see them for years. Send an email, message, check on them, keep that door open because you never know. The second thing, I will share this with the audience also, is never burn your bridges. It's very important. If you resign or like you leave a company for no matter
any reason, yep.
Leave in a good term.
Always.
You never know what's gonna happen. If you put your 2 weeks notice, honor your 2 weeks notice, stay professional, leave in a good term, and and leave that door open. Because I've seen a lot of people, and especially in the management field, that burn their bridges and they go around and try to come back. And of course, like if you leave in a bad term, you're never gonna be able to come back.
I totally agree with that.
So the relationships are always important. And again, it's never personal. Sometimes if you're not part of that company, not because your boss dislike you, not because like you didn't perform well, and maybe not, it wasn't the right time for you. It wasn't, the right position for you. So don't give up. One door open. No, I'm sorry. One door closed, 10 will open.
Exactly.
I always believe in that. So there gonna be always a place for you somewhere.
I totally agree on that.
Okay, good. So Joe, what do you think sets apart successful individuals from the rest? So how you define success for you, for example, and why you think like you are successful versus the rest of people?
I think successful, it's a state of mind, kinda. Because I see around me, by example, people who are successful, but they don't feel it, they don't see it. So I will think like, first it's like recognize yourself and your work. No matter at which level you are, be proud and recognize that what you've done, what is your journey.
So like we said, celebrate
every moment.
Success.
Yes, 200%. Because success is everywhere. You make a good coffee, that's a success. every little things.
Third language or a second language.
That's a success. Exactly. Like you graduate. That's a success. Like everywhere you have your driver license, you never have an accident in car accident, that's a success. Like success are everywhere. But I think in this society nowadays we are kind of start to be a bit negative sometimes.
I think they more define success about material things.
Exactly.
Than, if he's driving a great car, he's successful.
Exactly.
If he's living in a big house or a mansion, he's successful. But like so many people are very successful by their brain, by the way how they think, the way how they pass the message, how they inspire
exactly.
you, and like you said, I think it's more in a mindset than material,
Like the most successful people, doctor, teacher, they give knowledge, they help people, firefighter, policeman, like all these people are, for me, maybe, and if some of them listen to us, like you are successful, all of you.
Exactly, we really appreciate everything they do for us, and everybody in the society have a contribution.
Of course.
Everyone. Like, and I think that's the appreciation we need to show each other.
Exactly.
We'll stay in our industry, right? When people in Christmas or like in holidays, Thanksgiving, when everybody is gathering with their families, and you have these co-workers and our
Working,
cooks and servers are leaving their families and kids
to come
go
work.
to serve other people who are celebrating. You know, I love that type of the year because like I
Just
see
give me
the
chill.
appreciation from the people.
That's successful.
When people are staying in a hotel or like they're in town, you know, to celebrate with their families, and you know, they go to the restaurant to grab a bite or to the bar to have a drink. I see the appreciation that they show to the team. You know, hey, I know it's hard. Thanks for being here and take care of us and all that kind of stuff. So that's a sacrifice.
Totally.
So no matter what, from the dishwasher to the cook to the housekeeping to the front desk, any single department is contributing to the happiness of our customers
And the success of the company.
Exactly.
Customer service is everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good one, Joe. So as I mentioned before, our job is very stressful,
Oh yes.
right? So how do you handle that? How do you handle stress and pressure and maybe like some difficult situations? How do you work under pressure?
So I think it depends which kind of pressure. One more time, I love
Professionally.
professionally. I love when the restaurant is full. That is something I handle even better. Fast pace and rush.
So what's your advice for, let's say, like a new manager of a restaurant, steakhouse or fine dining? So, because a lot of people, a lot of managers, they're gonna be afraid of having like a full house restaurant or like during the rush. And it's not difficult when you are staff.
That's the
When
thing.
you are staff, you have your hosts, you have your servers, you have your cooks. It's always smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge is when you have call-offs or you have some people on vacation or you're not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of pressure I'm looking for the answer.
So it's where you have to get out your smile first, all the time. It is where you have to be even happier and more positive, because no matter what, the day gonna have to pass. No matter what, like, we have to make the job done. So it's where I think I over communicate at this moment, when I under big stress like that, big fast pace like that. It's where you have to over communicate, be on the floor, be reliable, be supportive for your team and for everybody, and also be aware. So the most important is keep your eyes really open, observe, look. Don't stress. Don't stress. It's easy to say, but like, don't rush yourself. Don't show it. You can. Everybody is stressed. We are all human. It's normal. But I know someone who give me a good advice, and he told me, like, think about something you make you happy. I think it was you, huh? And now I do that, and it's helped me. So I see I see it right now. I have the image of my little countryside in France, and I say, oh, that's relaxful. That's really peaceful, and up I can go back with a good mindset.
I think what people forget, Joe, is like it's a moment.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not the customer's fault.
No.
The customers, they don't need to leave the service with you. The customers, they don't know if you're short staffed or you have a call off or something happened. They're there sometimes to enjoy a meal. They're there to celebrate. So we have to make sure that they're gonna have a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And working under pressure is difficult. But from leadership role, you have to have a control of your emotion, because the team members are coming to you for solutions. And if they see the manager, stressing out, upset,
yep.
Not taking the time to support them, to talk to the guests, to do table touches, they're gonna be afraid of approaching their manager, and as a result, they don't gonna communicate. So if there is unhappy customers, they're gonna be afraid of coming to tell you. or like to the manager, you know.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's very important, like you said, like it's a moment, breathe, and think about something that's gonna make you happy. Everybody have motivations. Can be your kids, you know, at home. You're looking forward for your next game. You have something planned. You know, you have a passion that golfing, wherever. You think about the moment, and then your stress gonna
Release.
disappear.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean that's something I learned, and I'm happy to share because like it works. If it works for me, it works for you.
It worked for me, yeah.
Work for a lot of people.
It took time, one more time,
Exactly.
but like,
I mean,
like
change
just
is not easy, Joe.
keep your composure. Is what I say.
The hard part is accepting the change.
Yep.
And once you accept that, you know, I wasn't like this. It's through the experience, you know, through the difficult situation, through the feedback that I receive from my bosses and everything. That's how we build our, you know, ourselves and our leadership. So it's through learning. So Joe, what's one piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career?
Networking. I'm gonna go back on that. When I start my career, I didn't care too much about networking. I was coming to doing my job, and when the job was done, I go home. I didn't give too much credit to people around me and
Try to
learn and stuff. And so, yeah, I speak about that at least 10 years ago. Yeah, like take your time. Life is coming. It's in front of you. Take your time. You don't gonna lose nothing except like learning more things. So, yeah, take your time.
That's good. That's a good one. So
don't rush.
Don't rush. And I think, especially in this industry, I would say like be open-minded and multitask.
Oh, that you need at least, yeah.
I think if you are a server or you are a supervisor, be open to be cross-trained to learn different departments. If you, let's say, if you work in sports book, for example, and that's the only exposure you have, try to learn how to manage, for example, like a quick service restaurant, or like the beverage side, or like the fine dining side. Like talk to your boss and have them like give you like 1 hour maybe, you know, every day, to learn different aspects of the industry.
The big picture.
The big picture.
Yeah.
That's gonna prepare you to your next move. And the company, if they're looking for an assistant manager or like a manager role, it's gonna be easy for them to promote you because you've been there. I'm a big believer of promoting within.
Oh yeah,
because like it's the best investment that any company can do.
Totally agree.
You spend the time with your leaders, your supervisors. You coach them. You give them the resources. You give them the tools to be successful. And once you have a position open, they're ready to take on that position.
Empower them. Yep.
They already know the company. They already know the process. They already know the systems you're working with. They already know, your guest, the team. So it's just gonna be a win-win situation.
That's for sure. And so it's a credit also for yourself to reign and make shine someone else.
Mentoring somebody, and help them grow, and expand their career. It's really great skill.
I don't remember who said that, but he said, if I want to bright, it's to unlight each other, the others.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's something, Joe, that during my career I've seen so many management styles, and I saw a lot of managers insecure, and with their insecurity they don't find the time, or they don't want to have the time to teach their people who work under them, and it never sent a good message, because like a strong leader, he's the one who surrounds himself with successful managers.
Yep.
He empower them, support them, have an open door policy, but if they look good, he will look good. When he's not there, the business is still running like he's still there.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a good reflection of his leadership. And that's when you see, like, when you have a manager who's trying to control everything and have, like, his own say, like we say here in America, my way or highway, that never works. And people don't want to work for people like that.
You don't want confrontation. You don't want to have only one option and be close-minded. You want to... we live in democracy,
Exactly.
Like, we need to learn everybody, hear everybody. And, of course, you don't gonna always like the decision. But, like, we have to try to find something who you bring people together at the maximum.
Exactly. So, Joe, as a manager, how do you define like a good manager in food and beverage?
Team-oriented, punctual. That's the first things. You have to be on time to work.
Of course.
Team-oriented, because like you need to be here for your team, support, lead by example. The exemplarity is something really important. Or you can't ask someone to do something if you don't know it yourself. Like, where is the legitimacy in that? Yep. And I think after, it's communication. It's maybe funny to say, but it's like a couple. If you don't have the communication, it's the key for everything. If the communication, you can do mistake. We are all human. We are making mistake. But if you communicate to explain, like, in which way you did that, to make you understand by someone in front of you,
and they will buy in the process.
Exactly.
If you explain to them the reason why.
So the communication, I think a good communication skill, organization, because like when you have a big restaurant, schedule, order, and all this organization is really important. But yeah, so team-oriented, leader by exemplarity.
Can I add one more thing?
For sure.
I think the admin side too is very important, because as a leader, so you are between managing your team, managing the operation, the day-to-day, the day-by-day operation, and then you're still gonna have to report to your bosses, and the bosses always judge by the performance and the numbers, because like they trust to manage the operation.
Yep.
So like controlling your COGS, and what I mean by COGS, cost of goods sold. You can control the expenses. You can work with the marketing department, on promotions, and think about different ways how to drive more revenue. Because in the end of the day, as leaders, we judge by the numbers at the end of each month. So we have budget that we need to meet, and it's our job to try, to be creative and find different ways how to keep the revenue coming. When slow season is there, we have to be creative in how we're gonna save and cut the expenses. So yes, like you said, team-oriented, admin side. That's the balance that I think any manager can have.
That's for sure.
So what was one of the big projects you work on in your career, and that make you proud? That's something that you've done and you're proud of it.
I opened a little restaurant, the cellar and the wine. So I was a sommelier. We were
We missed that part, Joe.
Oh yeah, I forget. so many arms.
We need more than one episode with you.
That for sure. So when I was sommelier, I opened a restaurant in the Alps, in the Club Med. It was a new resort opening, Epicurious, I remember, and we were a team of 3 sommeliers. So we opened the full cellar. We built the full concept kind.
Okay.
We were there at the beginning of the concept.
Opening.
Yep. Went to Paris for different training, wine selection, wine pairing, and so that was a great adventure. Like it was at the beginning when I just started to be sommelier.
Okay.
That was amazing.
That's great.
I never really see a big opening like that, and like beautiful wine, beautiful concept. That was
opening
really.
Is always fun. And I always advise people who never been in opening process like. If you have a chance to be part of an opening of a hotel or a restaurant, I think it's great.
It's stressful, but it's really great.
Exactly. You learn a lot of different types of managing different projects. You know, getting in touch with like constructors and you know, you're part of making, you know, like it's like
your baby. Yep,
you know,
exactly
like,
that. Your baby.
So it's great.
And like you said, like the construction part, it gives you also another eye, another vision of what you do. You are not just the sommelier with the cellar here.
You're looking for the details.
Exactly. Like, oh no, so this one need to be fridge. So it means, oh, the constructor have to make a fridge here. Here you need a sink. Here you need this. Here you need that. So you, like we just said before, when you want to get cross-trained, like you have no choice to train yourself to try to take a step back and understand the big picture of like it's not just a restaurant, it's not just a cellar, it's the full concept.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But Joe, I have the final question, and I need you to think about it because this is going to be very important for our audience. So, what advice of words of wisdom do you have for our audience as they navigate their own path to success and fulfillment?
I think we spoke about that during all this podcast, and I will keep it for the end because I think it's really important for all the young and less young people, for everybody. It's stay open mind. Life is long. Some people say life is short. I think life is long. Life is full of opportunity. Don't, and we just spoke about that, so we can even re-put everything together. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Keep your mind open. Be where you want to be and give you the tools to go where you want to go. So yes, like you are not stuck where you are right now. If you are listening to me, you are not stuck where you are right now. You can be where you want to go in 10 years. But we have to take the big picture. Don't get focused like I need to do that next year. No, life is longer than what you think. So
enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment and things for the future. Stay open mind. Yeah.
Sky is the limit.
Exactly.
Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks
you for this great episode.
I will be back for sure.
For sure, we'll have you back.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you find this episode helpful and inspiring, please share with your friends and family. Also, any comments or feedback is welcome and will help us improve our content. Your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel is very, very much appreciated. Thank you.